How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to the movie review, a Capra Soul review video for today. This time for this new episode for this series is going to be my review on the 2023 sci-fi action film, and this is the sequel to the 2018 film as well, and that is Meg 2: The Trench. Now, this is directed by Ben Wheatley, the director of In the Earth. And so the story of the film is that a research team encounters multiple threats while exploring the depths of the ocean, including a malevolent mining operation. So that's pretty much the whole plot synopsis I can pretty much say for Meg 2: The Trench. Now, the first movie, The Meg, which came out back in 2018, I remember seeing that movie in the cinemas when it came out back in that year, and I had a pretty good time with that film. I thought it was a pretty fun, yet silly shark film, and that's what I pretty much expected to see out of that movie when I first saw the trailer for that film. And so, but when I saw the trailer for the sequel, I didn't know what to expect from the sequel or anything like that, because I didn't even know was the first movie worthy for a sequel or anything like that. But from after seeing it, it did look like it was going to be even much more bigger and more dumber than the first film and all that. And it was good to see Jason Statham back, because I'm a fan of Jason Statham myself. I think he's a really cool actor, and he is really fun to watch in any action film that he does, because he's a total badass in any action movies that he does. And so this movie came out just a couple of days ago. It came out just on the 4th of August of this year. It came out the exact same day as Joyride did in the UK, as well as the new Ninja Turtles movie and all that. And so, I saw the Ninja Turtles movie first on Friday, and I went to see this film the next day, and I actually saw the semi job for free, and I still have my free ticket for the film, which I do have right here. And my screening for this movie that I was going to was really packed. Like there was a lot of people in the screen that I was in. And after watching the sequel, unfortunately, I was not a fan of the sequel. Unfortunately, I found the sequel to be really terrible here, and also kind of boring as well here. The things that I did not like in the sequel was, unfortunately, the action scenes, because the action here for this movie weren't even all that memorable or even that dumb like the first movie or anything like that, because most of the action here for this movie was just flat out generic here, because there's a few action scenes where we're above the water and we see Jason Statham going up against a bunch of goons, which those scenes weren't even that fun. And there's a few action scenes where we're underwater, which those scenes weren't even that memorable or anything like that. And there's even a few scenes where we do see some effect shots in the film, which it's mostly like the sea creatures that we see in this film, like the megalodons and other sea creatures that we see in this film. Which, when it comes to those moments in the film, they weren't even all that convincing, and I kind of found that really messy here in this film. And as for the pacing for the film, I found the pacing here for this film to be flat out slow here, because like after the first minute of the film starts to slow down immediately, and I kind of found that really boring here, because we don't really get to see much of the silliness or ridiculousness here in this film when we get to see Jason Statham going up against a bunch of megalodons and all that. Like, we don't really see that until like the third and final act of this film, which I found that really bad here. And as for like the dialogue in the dialogue here for this film was just flat out cringy. Like, there's a few characters in this film where they try to provide some like silliness for what they say in the film, which they weren't even all that entertaining or anything like that. And as for like performances here for this film, for Jason Statham, he's doing his best here, and that's the only redeeming thing I only liked in this film, because no matter what Jason Statham's in, he's fun to watch when we get to see him like kick ass in any action film that he does or anything like that. And everyone else, for the most part, I thought they were fine enough for the acting talent here for this film. But overall, in the end, guys, Meg 2: The Trench, unfortunately, I was not a fan of the sequel. I found the sequel to be really terrible and also really boring here, and just not overall that fun or even that silly or anything like that, like the first film. But if you are a fan of the first film, or if you're just an overall huge fan of like shark films since Jaws or anything like that, you may enjoy this one here. So that's pretty much all to say about Meg 2: The Trench. I'm gonna give Meg 2: The Trench 1 out of 5. Like I said, I was just not a huge fan with the sequel overall here. I just much prefer watching the first movie over this here. And I didn't hate everything about the sequel, because there was some stuff I did like in the sequel, but for everything else that was surrounding the sequel, I was just not a huge fan overall here. So thank you guys so much for watching for my AKF Soul review on Meg 2: The Trench. And let me know what you think of the sequel, if you have seen this already, or if you just recently checked out the sequel. Did you have a really fun time with this, or was this not really a popcorn treat? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Foggins Media Corner signing off.